one thing I've always avoided is, resorting to Atlanteans or aliens. And there's a good reason for that. When you look at history and the Egyptians and what they have experienced from outsiders who have come to their country, whether it's from Napoleon, to the British and the Germans and the Americans, they see a lot of their treasured artifacts left the country. And some of those artifacts they're demanding be returned or requesting they be returned. And so another aspect of that is not just the physical artifacts are now leaving the country, but also their heritage is being questioned. And by some people who claim that, well, the Egyptians were not capable of doing that. And so therefore it must have been another race. And I think that is where there is a misunderstanding in terms of how that is interpreted by the Egyptians, because it's like, well, it's not only are they ripping off our artifacts, but they're ripping off our history and our heritage. And so they're very sensitive to that. I don't want to do that because we don't know. And, when you consider looking at these artifacts that are beautifully crafted, beautifully finished, and if you look at what happens to any civilization after a cataclysm, what would happen to its industries, to its scientists, to all the specialized skills that exist within the culture that make that civilization function. I mean, it's so myriad and dynamic and varied and nuanced, and it's, no one person can interpret everything about what happened in a particular culture at a particular time. Mm-hmm. There's nobody. Archaeologists, historians, they don't know. Mm-hmm. They just have a very, very narrow field of view into society today.
Right.
Can you imagine what the viewpoint in societies that lived thousands of years ago? It gets really murky really quickly.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if our society, if America was suddenly hit with a comet and everything was destroyed, we would be brought to our knees. All our technologies would disappear over time. Everything would be destroyed. A large section of the population would disappear. There would be an extinction event. There have been in the past, and there could be again. So what happens then? I mean, in terms of the survivors, what are they going to be doing? They're not going to be going on Facebook and, checking their iPhone. Not for long. All the cell towers that go down, everything will be gone, right? Mm. So they'll be stuck in caves trying to survive, scrimping. So how long does it take a person who is reduced to rubble, everything that they've known and enjoyed, how long does it take for them to build back to that particular stage, right? Mm-hmm. And to say that the people that survived a cataclysm in America were not capable at some point in their history of doing wonderful and amazing things. And, having brilliant scientists arise out of the general population and do brilliant and amazing things. To say that particular culture could not support an advanced civilization, I think is wrong. Mm. It's just a matter of, our civilization has been dependent on first of all, resources, right? Human resources, and also the physical resources of nature that provide us with abundance and freedom. Freedom for educating people and developing programs where instead of being out in the field digging potatoes or whatever to feed the family, they're sent off to university to learn physics and it's kind of like that development. You have to have the underpinning of science is based on people having that kind of freedom and people around them that recognize that they are different and that they should be nurtured and developed, and they can eventually benefit everybody. And whereas if you're just living in an agrarian society and all just to live, just to survive, you got to work the land. Mm. The education institutions no longer exist, and if they did, you won't have time to go to them.
Right.
Or they may be repurposed to do something else. I don't know. So it's a scary thought, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, if there wasn't a crazy advanced civilization that had essentially hit the reset button on everything.
Yeah.
We would lose, like if that happened right now, we would have, within 500 years, there would be no evidence of any of the skyscrapers. There would be nothing left except for Mount Rushmore, the Great Pyramids, and like the Hoover Dam, right? The stone structures would survive.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like to say the Egyptians, because when you look at how they lived and worked 5,000 years ago, I mean, they did have an amazing civilization just in at that period of time. Mm-hmm. But to say that there was no point in their history when they were capable of building the pyramids, I think is a mistake. Mm. You just have to know what period of time it was when the destruction came and everything stopped.
Which is a very interesting perspective that I haven't heard anybody. It seems like there's so much war going on between people that are talking about this and debating this. It's become such an entrenched ideology and almost like a religion for some people, to where they just want to fight. But like you said, yeah, it is entirely possible that the Egyptians that came later were just the survivors of who came before, who had the tools and had the machines to build some of these insanely precise structures and objects and machines.
Right. I mean, the evidence is there. All you have to do is recognize it, take measurements,